and welcome to Saturday Fun Day with Connie. Today, my guest star is the one, the only, the fabulous Robbin with Roaming with Rover. How are you today, Robbin?
Good morning. I am wonderful.
Awesome, awesome. Let's see. I know Nisi was here. I'm not sure if she's still here or not. We also have Sindy, Dana, and Lisa in the house. How are y'all doing? And what is everyone working on? And we also have Angela and Antoinette. Howdy, howdy. And Dawn. What are all of y'all working on? Yeah, thank y'all so much. For those that don't know, last night, not last week, last night, I reached a major milestone. I reached 2K. And like when you reach those 1,000 milestones, it's like, to me, those are like a big deal. So like I'm really, really excited, and I want to thank everybody that's watched me, and they support me, and y'all all mean so much to me. I enjoy chatting with y'all, getting to know y'all better, and hopefully y'all get some ideas, for future makes from me, or um learn things from me with things that I share on my channel. Oh, hi Susan, how are you and what are you working on? And Lisa, how are you? So, what are your plans for today, Robbin?
Well, I'm actually working. You can see I'm here at the craft store. And so every Saturday I work here at the craft store. We don't get a lot of foot traffic, so I'm able to do this sort of thing. But just letting y'all know, if I do get someone come in, I'll have to pause for a moment and go help the customers. But it's kind of a cold, dreary day, so I don't anticipate a lot of foot traffic. So I think I'll be okay. And I always bring projects with me to work on, so I get to, and that's what I do. I teach crochet classes here, so I get to sit here and crochet, so it's really a wonderful environment for me.
Cool job. Let's see, we also have Linda and Green Stick Cottage that joined us. What's your first name, Green Stick? And how are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? Let's see, Antoinette's working on a shawl from Bag O' Day called Connected Granny. Yeah, that's one I've been thinking about doing sometime in the future. Making with a cotton 2/8 yarn that is ombre. Also, long time working on Mandela Afghan. Yeah, I love Bag O' Day's shawl patterns. I have a bunch that I plan to make coming up. And right now I'm currently working on the Queen one, her shawl pattern.
Pamela. Okay.
And Dana's working on the Fruit Gordon blanket and the Dorla sweater. Is that Dorla the Yarn Owl? Is that one of her patterns?
That's Darla's Crafty Yarn Owl. That's her newest sweater. She challenged Dana to make her first sweater, and Dana is doing a wonderful job at it. It's scary, Dana's kind of like me. She's more of a blanket kind of a gal. So Miss Darla has really pulled us out of our shell and challenged us to make sweaters. I did one this summer, and Dana's doing one right now. And Dana is pulling us out of our shell with this scary blanket that she's got us working on. And it's called the Fruit Garden. And she's doing a crochet along right now. And we're making these beautiful motifs. Look at these gorgeous things. And they're really hard. They're not really hard. They're very intricate, though. And so we're making these motifs. And then the motifs turn into these beautiful squares as if by magic. Isn't that fabulous?
That is. That's awesome.
So that's the color that mine is. And in theory, it's going to turn into this gorgeous blanket. So that's Dana's crochet along right now. that she just started. So I have one square done, and my 8 motifs from the first set. That's one of the things I love about our crochet community. And just like you've done the same thing to me, which is forcing us to get out of our comfort zone by allowing me to knit and I've forgotten what's it called. So you had me do the candy cane hat, but what is that style of knitting called? What's that called?
Basically color work.
Yeah, that color work. And that's something that I was terrified to do. And you helped me with that. And it was, I wouldn't say, oh, that was easy, but I was able to do it. I accomplished it. And it's because we help each other out to do these things that we're afraid to try. And because of that, it allows us to make these stunningly beautiful things that we would never even think we could do. Quilty, this is Dana the Wanderlust crochet. This is her crochet along.
See, my next knit along I want to do is one on the next color work. I'm sorry, the next knit along that I want to do is on a color work beanie.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That's the next knit along I want to do. Since the one that I'm currently on that I need to wrap up is a striped colored beanie, which gives you like the very intro on how to change colors on rows. But then the next one's going to dive deeper and get into the actual color work where you have a picture.
Oh,
kind of like a candy cane, or I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I got to figure out the design.
That's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Just so y'all know, Robbin's having a little issues with the volume. So she may have to ask me to repeat what I'm saying periodically. And let me know, can y'all hear me okay? I want to make sure everyone hears me okay. Let's see. We have Crystal that joined us, and or Cinnamon Girl. What's your first name, Cinnamon Girl? And who else joined us? Angela also joined us. And I think that's and Angel Renee too joined us. And Anita. How are y'all doing? And what's everyone working on? All right, let's see. Linda says Doorless Sweater is next on her list. See, like me, I'm more of a shawl, beanie, and amigurumi girl. Can you hear me right now, Robbin? Robbin? I don't think she can hear.
I can hear you, but...
I'm sorry. Okay, Green Stick is Cottage is Pamela.
Yeah, it's all on my end. I apologize.
Antoinette saying I should do it. And you know the funny thing is, I have so much I want to make. And then when it comes, I want to join in on crochet alongs and knit alongs, but it never seems to happen. Let's see. Lisa's drinking hazelnut and cocoa coffee, working on the corner to corner blanket still, but on the reducing corner side. Sweet. Yeah, corner to corner is a fun stitch. And Pamela's working on the Inspired by Joy Afghan crochet along, Port 2 right now. Which one's designed by Jane Crofiat?
That's
the one that
that's this one.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't positive. And Angela's drinking water and working on...
It's called the Fruit Garden.
Nice, nice, nice. Angela's working on her knitted socks. And did I greet you, Sindy? I think I did, but if not, howdy, howdy. Let's see. Okay, the Joy Cal is hosted by the Crochet Crowd. And Angel Renee saying colorwork is a good idea. I always wanted to see how the inside of colorwork knitting looks like. I assume it's all crazy in the inside. And basically you kind of see it, but you see where it attaches to. Let's see. Okay. Oh, or Cinnamon Girl is Karen. And Antoinette says, I have tried basic knitting before, but I prefer crochet. The payoff is seen quicker to me. Yeah, that's one thing a lot of people do feel like crochet works up faster. And she started Tunisian, which I did one
much faster.
I did one Tunisian project. I had done a small pumpkin, but I want to do like more with Tunisian. Okay. Oh, hi, Samantha. How are you today? And welcome to my channel. What are you currently working on? And let's see. Karen says, I'm working on my attitude. Oh, you meant craft. I'm crocheting on my solid granny shawl right now. Okay. Everyone says they can hear us. Good. Okay, good, good, good. Because every now and then my mic kind of goes wonky on me. So I try to ask periodically to make sure everyone hears me okay. We have Suzanne here too. How are you today, Suzanne? And what are you working on? Anita's working on her resin. Yeah, she's been having fun playing around. Oh, and if y'all don't know, I shared this on my community page yesterday. Anita's goat had a sweet little baby goat.
Oh.
She posted a couple of shorts. It is so precious. I just want to go love on the little baby goat and hug it and pet it. I was like, oh, she showed me that yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh. Let's see. Antoinette saying, if anyone follows Nick's Homemade Crafts, she is doing a Tunisian crochet along this month. Awesome.
Yeah, I am not a fan of Tunisian. I've done quite a bit of it. And, you talk about crochet being faster than knitting. And the Tunisian, it really hurts my hands. And I know part of it is because it seems much tighter. And maybe if I used a bigger hook, it would be looser, but my stitches tend to be super tight and it just hurts my hands when I do it. And I've done it a few times and you can make some beautiful, beautiful chart work, beautiful graph gans with it. But every time I do it, I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And then a couple years go by and I try it. Just not a fan.
And the one funny thing, I know most people find crochet works up faster than knitting, but a lot of times I think I knit faster than I crochet.
Really?
So I don't really notice a big difference. I'm not the fastest crocheter. It's like I learned knitting first, so I'm more
that makes a difference
with knitting. Let's see. Crystal's working on a Rocky Road baby blanket, following Bob. And Pamela says the goal is for knitted stranded color work to look nice and neat on the inside. Yeah, I mean it does look neat because you'll see it just kind of like goes around nicely. But one of the important things is you do want to carry your yarn, because if you don't, it'll like be it'll mess with your tension.
And when I made that hat, the candy cane hat, that was the problem I had because it was the first time I'd done that and it was too tight and I didn't know to stretch it out as I was going along. And that was the only problem that I had with it though. The pattern was easy to follow. The chart was easy to follow. So when I do it again, I will definitely stretch it out as I go.
And another thing too, that usually you want to carry your stitches every 3 to 4 stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing too, like when you go to the next row, you don't want to carry on the same spot on the row. So like on the previous row, maybe you carried like on the 3rd stitch. Well, the next row you want to do it like on the 4th stitch.
Oh, okay.
But it does kind of get, because with the design, your rows are different too.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see, we have Samantha and Tyler here. How are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? Tyler's trying to get to his 2K milestone. Yeah, I made mine last night. I was all excited. It's like those 1,000 milestones, I feel like are such a bit, an accomplishment. You're just like, yes, I made it to the next 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like typically I don't like putting focus on numbers. I really don't. But there's something sweet about those milestones.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Let's see. Oh, Dana saying Robbin is starting an amazing crochet along soon based on
kind of like the mystery one. We had it. The coolest thing, I ran into it by accident. I just popped up on my Etsy page one day, and this gal, what is her name? Lindsay. So I had her on my guest a couple weeks ago. I'm going to do a terrible job explaining it, but if you guys want to pop on, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and it's called The Mystery at Rosewood Manor. And it starts in 2 weeks. I think it's the 19th. And this gal, Kelsey, thank you, Dana. Kelsey is her name. This gal have you guys ever heard of like a murder mystery dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she has created a mystery crochet along based on like a murder mystery dinner. And she's written this whole thing up, the story, the pattern, everything, even how you choose your yarn. And you go through and you answer these questions and you pick your yarn based on how you answer the questions. And then she does the story, and based on like what you pick, like we walked through the beginning scene. And so it was like, do you knock on the door, or do you make a phone call, or do you get in your car? And so based on what you pick is the next set of instructions that you're going to do. And just the coolest idea ever. I was so intrigued by this thing. And it was, I want to say 10 weeks long. And it was like $12 to join. Really, really reasonably priced to join. You can do it with one color of yarn, or you can use multiple colors of yarn. I had enough yarn in my stash. I pulled yarn out of my stash to do it, so you don't have to get anything special. You can use 2, 3, or 4 weight. Of course, I usually have 4 weight. And I'm just so excited to do. Usually I don't like mystery crochet alongs because I don't like to spend a lot of time making something I don't know if I'm going to like at the end. But this is just the fun as you go along. And everybody who makes it is going to end up with something a little bit different because it all depends on what you pick as you go along. It's just the coolest thing ever. I'm really, really excited and intrigued about this thing. So it's called The Mystery at Rosewood Manor. If you just want to go listen, it was a fun interview. And I think it was just 2 weeks ago. But yeah, really, really cool, Antoinette. It was just really, really intriguing. She said it's the first one she's done, tons of work. And when she first started it, She thought maybe she'd have 100 people. She's got almost 1,000 people involved in this thing. She's
Wow.
got a Facebook page involved, so there's going to be a lot of help. And I saw the stitch list, and there was nothing on there that looked too difficult. So I think it's going to be a really, really fun time. If you guys want to do something a little different.
That sounds so neat.
Yeah, it does. Doesn't it sound neat? And it's like, great, I need one more. So that's my 3rd crochet along that I'm doing this month. So absolutely ridiculous because, I don't have enough things going on, but I had to get involved in that. I absolutely had to get involved in that one. It just sounded like so much fun.
Let's see. Samantha's working on a couple of amigurumis.
Oh, I can't do those.
I love them, especially the holiday ones.
Mm-hmm.
And like gnomes. I love gnomes.
I like the way they look. It's just, I think it's all those little pieces. They scare me.
I find the best thing is don't let things intimidate you.
And I'm afraid of everything, apparently.
Because that's how you learn. You just the stuff. Worry about it when you get there. Let's see. Antoinette saying everyone is so crafty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the goat's a boy. Okay. The name that I want you to call it, Adita, is either Little Biscuit or Little Bisky. Yeah, I had told her last night if it was a girl to call it Sally that goat. Like that song, whoa, 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 Sally that goat. Let's see. Oh, we have Michelle that joined us. Hi, Michelle. How are you today? And what are you working on? And Doris joined us too. Let's see if anybody else did. Oh, and Pamela too. And Blind Kill. What's your first name, Blind Kill? I think that's everybody. If I missed anyone, I do apologize. I'll probably catch it as I go along the comments. But yeah, how are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? Susanne says, I'm still in a crochet slump, so I'm not working on anything at the moment, but I still love to watch my Yarny friends on YouTube. And I'm having a can of Coke. Hopefully you get inspired. Get some ideas. Antoinette says, with knitting, I find it's too easy to drop stitches. I like my hook. That is one of the worst things, especially when you're new to knitting.
Mm-hmm.
I did do a video a while back. It's in my helpful knitting tips playlist that gives advice on what things to help prevent the drop stitches. It doesn't mean that you won't still get them, but these little techniques help a lot with it. I saw a reaction, Robbin. Let's see. We have Joy that joined us. Oh, Amber's here too. How are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? I guess you were reacting to Amber, huh? You had me wondering if maybe Bag O' Day stopped.
Oh, that would be nice. Hi, Miss Ivy.
Oh, Ivy joined us too?
Mm-hmm. And Doris joined us.
Yeah, I had gotten Doris. Hi, Ivy. How are you? And what are you working on?
Somebody asked me a question. Oh, Susan. 3 crochet. So I'm working on the beautiful fruit garden that Dana's doing, that Dana is hosting, and I'm doing that mystery crochet along the mystery of Rosewood Manor, which starts, I want to say the 19th. I think it's not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. And I'm also working on Sophie's Universe, which is right here. I think I'm on row, what am I on? Round 18. I'm on round 18 of like 12,000 of that. But these two don't have like an actual deadline. They don't like drop each week or anything. The Rosewood Manor does. It'll have something drop every week. And then, is it okay if I talk about my exciting one? Can I talk about that now? I'm so excited.
Do you have any other whips and finished projects you want to show too?
This is it. These are such big projects. I can't believe it. I finished my in-project projects. I mean, I've always got whips that are forever going to be whips, but things I was actually working on and trying to complete by the end of the year. I was doing Mr.'s vest, and it got done, and he loves it, and I'll be danged if he doesn't wear that thing. And y'all know how the men are, and you know they're always complaining about the yarn stash and all of that. So I finished that vest, and I'm telling him about all my projects that I've got lined up for next year, and you know all the yarn and all the things. He comes bebopping out the other day with this skein of yarn, and I thought he's going to tell me, hey, this fell on the floor, or you know, blah blah blah. And he goes, I want my next vest made out of this yarn, and I'm like. He goes, you've got a lot of it. There's plenty of this to make me a vest. Okay. I'm like, that exact yarn or that color? Because it's this beautiful, soft heather gray with this halo, and it's a 3-weight. And I'm thinking, I'm not using that on a vest for you. And he's like, no, I want this exact yarn. It's really soft. And I'm like, okay. So I'm working last night on these things, and he's like, when are you going to start my vest? I'm like, dude, get in line. I've got crochet alongs to work on. You got to put in your order and wait. He's never done that before. He's never looked through my yarn and picked something out. I was really surprised.
Hi, Allie and Miranda. How are y'all? And what are y'all working on? All right. So Robbin has some exciting news to share. I'm
so excited. So I made the announcement last week, so some of my people already know about it. But I'm going to be hosting my very, very first crochet along. And I know for you guys, you're like, big deal, another crochet along, who cares? But it's a big deal to me, and it doesn't start until March. So you got a long, long time. And in February, I'll be doing an introduction video with all the details, you know, how much yarn you need and all the colors and all that stuff. But it's going to be the Lizzie blanket, which was done a couple of years ago by Ophelia Makes. So it's her pattern. She's got a whole line of videos, and it's a beautiful blanket. And she's doing it based on the Pride and Prejudice movie. She chose the colors based on colors she saw in the Pride and Prejudice movie. So it's got a beautiful kit of colors, or you can pick the colors yourself. What am I trying to say? The tutorial is very well done, and there's a pattern. The pattern is only $7.50. You can use her colors. You can pick your own colors. You can do one color. You can do a couple. You can do, hers has either 14 or 15. I can't remember. But I'm also going to be reading the book. So each week you'll have the book to listen to while you're working on the blanket. So if you want to make the blanket as we go along, that's great. If you just want to listen to the book, the reading, you'll have some new chapters each week. So we're calling it an RCAL, a reading crochet along. And so all of the info will drop in February, and the actual crochet along will start March 23rd, which is my birthday. So it's my birthday present to me. So I hope that you guys will join us in February, and that'll give you plenty of time to get your yarn together And that's the one thing you were talking about, all the crochet alongs that are floating around out there. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, there's a crochet along, I want to do it. And it starts, next week. And I don't have time to gather 3,000, kinds of yarn together in that amount of time. So I wanted to give people tons of time to get your yarn together and, get going, get the stuff together. Like I said, there used to be, and when you listen to her videos, it will tell you that there's a free pattern. It is not free any longer, but it's only $7.50, and it's a downloadable pattern. So if you want to buy that in advance, it's the Lizzie blanket, and then that tells you everything you need right there. So if you want to gather your own yarn and be ready to go.
So yeah, when the time comes, go check her.
So excited.
Robin's crochet along out.
My very first. And I give you way, way, way more time than she does. I thought hers went way fast. So I think she does hers in 6 weeks, and we're doing it over the course of, it's either 12 or 14 weeks. So you've got plenty of time to do mine. Because I know you guys have lots of projects you're working on. I have lots of projects I'm working on. And I never do one project at a time, ever. Well, I lied. I did the last 2 projects was one at a time because I was trying to hit a deadline. And I like to work on more than one thing at a time. So I wanted to make sure to build in time so you can meet those deadlines. And, you've got time to be with your family and go do all the things. So I made sure there was plenty of time to work on this, keep up with it, because I know if I fall behind, I never get back to it. And I don't want that to happen with this. I want this to be a fun experience for everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Could one of my moderators drop Robbin's link? It's Roaming with Rover. I meant to put it in the description box of the live, and I forgot to. But yeah, if y'all haven't checked Robbin out, go check her out. Y'all will love her. Let's see. Pamela's asking if that's a window in my backyard or a picture. It's a picture. I use a green screen, which, watch this. See, that's what's actually behind me. And then, now I have it back up. I like green screens. They're fun.
They are a lot of fun. I haven't figured out how to do them yet.
And okay, which book are you referring to, Lisa? From what I understand, when it comes to books, it has to be like over 100 years old.
Yeah, it is. And I double checked that first before I did any of it. Now, it's interesting that you said that because the movie obviously is not. It's only a few years old, so you can't do any snippets of the movie. But the book is in public domain. Thank you guys for dropping that.
Hi, Michelle. How are you today? And what are you working on? Yeah, thanks, Dana, for dropping the link, and Anita. Oh, yeah, and another thing, too, any of y'all that have channels, if you want your links dropped for your channels, type the word drop, and Nightbot will drop your link for you. Exactly. We don't get snow like this in Louisiana.
The funny thing, Connie, is I just posted a picture that looks almost exactly like that on my Instagram page about 2 weeks ago. That is what it looks like out my front door.
And even like when it occasionally snows, which it usually averages about once every 2 years.
We've had over 36 inches of snow already this year.
Wow.
Just ridiculous.
Like we have more of an icy snow.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's like I could never like the first time I saw snow, I tried to build a snowman, and it's like you can't get it going.
No, it's got to be a certain wetness and not too powdery. And there's an art to snowmanning.
So the main topic we're going to be talking about today is ideas for yarn storage. So I'm curious, how does everyone store their yarn? Or is this something that you need help with? So how do you store your yarn, Robbin?
Well, I've got kind of well, maybe it's not so unusual, but my situation, I've really only been collecting yarn for about 2 years because as maybe you don't know, we lived in a motorhome for 4 years. And so it wasn't until the last year or so of motorhoming when I knew we were going to be transitioning to a house that I started ordering quite a bit of yarn. First off, it was just getting yarn for the project I was working on because there's no room in a motorhome to store anything. And so I started ordering things and having them sent to the house, or at first having it sent to my friend's house back home. And it's like, oh, I'm going to be in Texas visiting my daughter. I'll have some yarn sent there. Oh, I'm going to my friends in California. I have some yarn sent there. And I did a lot of that as I was traveling. And then I would grab my order, make a few things, and then have another order sent somewhere else. Well, once we realized we were going to be coming home, I had some things sent home. And I know you guys have seen that picture. When we got back to town and I had been ordering yarn for a year, you can order yarn, but unless it's in your hand, it doesn't exist. And I got home and I had 75 boxes sitting in my house.
Wow.
And no place to put it because I have a tiny little house and there's no storage. So the first thing we did was we got a shed out back and the boxes got put in the shed. And as I slowly opened it and went through things and kind of figured out what I had, and then y'all know Miss Morgan. Miss Morgan has a room, and when she moved in, the stipulation was, this is your area except for the yarn that's already in here. So I have a closet in her room. I have stuff stored out back in the shed. I have boxes kind of shoved wherever I can find a spot. And recently, my grandson and I built just a shelf unit, and it's floor to ceiling, so it's 10 feet high and it's 6 feet wide, and that's the majority of my yarn. So most of my yarn is in those shelves. And then up high on top of the shelves, I have my kits that, you know, like I do the crochet of the month from Mary Maxon. So those kits and things are up there. And then I have separated out within there, I have my cross stitch, I have my beadwork, and different things like that are in different sections up high. So that's kind of how, it's not as nice and tidy as I would like it to be, but it's 1,000 times better than when I walked in the door and it was floor to ceiling boxes and I had no idea what was in any of it. So it's better.
Awesome. Let's see, Denise joined us. Hi, Denise. How are you? And also Miranda had to go. I hope she has a good day. For me, I really need to organize my yarn. My yarn is so unorganized right now. It's, you know how you organize something and it don't take long for it to get unorganized.
Mm-hmm.
But typically, like, I use either boxes or the little plastic bins. Well, the good size plastic bins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I keep my yarn in. And I typically sort it by, like, I have like the solid colors together, the cake yarns together, and then like the fingering weight yarns, I have those together. And that's kind of like my main ways of sorting my yarn. But some people will sort it by weight or fiber.
Yeah, mine is sorted by weight. And, you know, that has helped me tremendously because I did not think I had any chunky weight yarn. And turns out I've got one full shelf of chunky, and I would call it 6. So I've got a shelf of 6, a shelf of 5, 2 shelves of 4, 1 shelf of 3, and 1 shelf of 2, and then 2 bins of the 1 weights.
Now, my chunkier yarn, I do have a bag. I keep that in. I don't
Hmm.
have that much chunky yarn
I didn't think I did either until I separated it.
because I'm not like I'm not as big on using the chunky yarn.
Hmm.
Um, I'm more of a number four weighted girl.
Yeah, I like the 4 is the best. But I keep convincing myself I'm going to learn to do socks, and so I keep picking up a lot of the pretty hanks are one weights.
Hmm. Yeah, it's usually four and under that I use,
Hmm.
but four I go to the most.
Yeah, 4 is the go-to. Although here lately, I'm surprised. So this is a 3 weight, and it's really working out nicely. And I'm finding, and in fact, when I do my crochet along, it's a 3 weight. And I'm finding here recently, I've been reaching for the 3 weights quite a bit. And that has surprised me. But also, we all know this. They might call it a 4 weight, but it's really a 3 weight.
Hmm.
So we've had that happen frequently as well.
Now I'm about to be getting some number one weight and number two weight coming in. I ordered from Vilrita, and they have nice yarn.
Mm.
I heard about it through Bag O' Day.
Hmm.
It has like the yarn or yarn, Lee's, those type of brands, and they have really good prices, even though the shipping is a little
Yeah,
more.
from Ice.
No, this is Vilrita.
Vilrita? I haven't heard of that before.
I heard about it through Bag O' Day.
Oh, okay.
They have like yarn,
Oh, I love yarn art. Oh, that's so
Elise or
beautiful.
Elise, however you
So
say it.
beautiful. Yeah. I'm not allowed to watch her videos anymore because
You get in
I have
trouble.
no place to put it. I'm so proud of myself. So there's a couple people, Dana does Scorched Earth. That's what she calls her thing. And then, oh my gosh, what is it called? What is it called? Um, oh, please forgive me. I can't remember her name. And I can see her thing, but she's doing a thing where every month we check in with her and show how much yarn we've used. Why can't I remember her name? In fact, I thought she was even in here a little while ago.
I know.
Who is it? Who is it? Somebody tell me who it is. She's got the white hair and she makes the beautiful project bags.
Oh, Jane.
No.
Jane Scraptastic Yarn.
No, no, no. She's actually my guest this week. Jane is. Why, why, why,
I
why,
know.
why?
I know Kelly would do with
It's
KO.
Queen something, but it's not Mom Hillbilly. Oh, I feel terrible because I'm so bad at names. But anyway, um, she's doing a thing. Bridget, yes, Bridget. Bridget, Queen's Crafts, Bridget.
I
She's doing a thing where every month we're checking in with her and showing how much yarn we've used up. Well, the beginning of this year, I made a list of all the projects that I want to do, and I came up with 20 substantial projects, and all but one, I was using yarn that I had in my stash. That's a pretty darn big accomplishment for me, because I mean, the yarn that I'm using my projects are using a lot of yarn. And even this mystery thing that I wasn't on my original list that got added on, I pulled yarn out of my stash to use. So I'm really excited to be using them. And a lot of that came because my yarn is out where I can see it. I can see what I have and I can shop from what I've got. And once in a while, it's like, okay, I want to use this, but I don't have quite enough. So I'm going to have to go buy 2 or 3 more skeins. I can live with that. But, if the majority of it comes from my collection, then I'm really, really happy about that.
awesome.
So I'm trying not to, because I've got a significant amount of yarn. I bought the last 2 years, I bought from sales, from clearances, from closeouts, and it's time to use some of that up.
Okay, I had put the link for that website I was talking about.
Oh,
In the chat.
vilrita.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that now.
And I see we have Jessie that joined us, Lorele. There was someone else. Who was the other person that joined us? Sally. Sally. How are y'all and what are y'all working on? So let us know how y'all tend to store y'all yarn. And let me see. I know some people had answered. So I'm trying to find those comments. I've gotten so far behind on the chat.
Easy to do. It's nice when
It
we've got such a nice group that's really participating on, you know, and there's some things that people need to be aware of when you are thinking about how to store yarn. And it's not just where do I have room to shove this yarn in, which is kind of, that's always my first thought when something shows up at my house. Where am I going to put this? And, you know, it's like you said, some people like to separate it by color. Some people like to separate it by size. Something that's really super important, and I'm not sure many of us think about this, but we need to segregate our yarn by fiber. If you're going to give something to somebody, if you're going to, and you know, I do my Monday night bingo, and I know you've done bingo in the past, and I give my yarn as prizes a lot. And if we're giving away yarn and it has touched other fibers, there's a chance of cross-contamination. And if I give this to somebody who's allergic to wool or has a sensitivity to alpaca, like Miss Amber, it's supposed to not be, it's supposed to be hypoallergenic. She has a terrible, terrible allergy to alpaca. Never occurred to me. I needed to be aware of that. When I am storing my yarn, I need to make sure that the fibers don't touch each other in the storage process. Never occurred to me. And that's something that's extremely important when you're storing your fibers. So not only do I need to separate the acrylics by weight, I need to separate the acrylics, make sure the wool is nowhere near anything else. It needs to be on its own, so there's no cross-contamination. And I think that's something that most of us, if we do not have a sensitivity, it probably never crossed our minds.
Yeah, because I'm bad for that. You know, I don't have a sensitivity, so I don't always think about it.
Yeah,
And
it
there's a
never
lot of
occurred to me.
people that do have allergies. Granted, I'm allergic to a lot of other stuff. Let's see, Antoinette, she has a cedar closet that she stores her trash, her stash in. I'm trying to call yarn trash.
Yeah.
Yarn is not trash.
No, not at all.
Stash. Oh, my words were coming out wrong. Let's see. Did anyone else mention how they store theirs? Let's see. No, I saw that one. But yeah, let us know how y'all store y'all yarn. I'm trying to skim through all the comments. Oh, Antoinette saying she never used yarns that come in hanks. Yeah, the one thing I don't like about hank yarn is balling it up.
I love the balling up process. I think it's so much fun watching it go from the pretty, because it looks different when it's in a hank, and then when it goes into a ball, it looks totally different. But I also find that it's so much easier to store what's in a hank. They don't fall over as easily. And of course, you don't hank it till you're ready to use it. So it's, it doesn't put that extra stretch on it. And here's something else that I've heard people do, and I know it's so bad for your yarn. Not so much acrylics, but if you're using natural fibers, I have heard a lot of people are taking their yarn and putting it in those suction bags. I can't think of what they're called.
Oh,
Like the food storage
sealed?
bags, and you suck all the air out.
Vacuum sealed.
Thank you, the vacuum seal. And that's fine if I'm going to put it in a bag and I'm mailing it across the country to, you know, save the space for mailing costs. That's fine for a few days. But if this is something where you plan on storing it, it is going to destroy the fibers. The compression on those fibers, it is so bad for those fibers. That is not something you want to do for any length of time. So it's fine to take on a trip with you when you're trying to save space in your luggage, or to ship it across town, ship it across country, but that's not something you want to do long term for storage, because it will ruin the fibers. I don't think it's as big a deal for acrylic. I do not know 100% on that, but I do know you will destroy the fibers if it's a natural fiber yarn. So that's not something you want to do full time. Another thing that people are may not be aware of is if you're storing your stuff in cardboard boxes, which again is not something great long term. If you've got it like shoved in a closet or something on carpet beetles that you cannot see will burrow up through the cardboard and eat up your yarn. So make sure there's some kind of just even a plastic bag. Just take like a plastic trash bag, lay it over that carpet, and then put the cardboard box on it. That will keep the carpet beetles from getting up into your cardboard box. And that will save you from losing your yarn to carpet beetles. Trust me, I've learned the hard way on that one.
Yeah, you got to be careful about the little critters.
Insects are a big part of that.
Yeah, like you know, you want to protect your yarn against like dust, critters.
Yep. Critters. Yep. And there was, insects. Yeah.
Yeah, there was something else too that you want to. There's something else too that you want to protect against. I'm trying to look at my notes. I can't think of it offhand.
The big ones that I know of are dust.
Yeah, dust.
Rodents. And that's what I worry about with my stuff that's out in the shed.
Oh,
I've got, you know, rodent killer everywhere out there.
Mold.
Sunlight is super important. If you've got sunlight hitting on that, and here's something else to think about. I've made this beautiful sweater. I've made this beautiful blanket, and it's all folded up and it's stacked on this shelf, and the sunlight's hitting it, it's going to destroy it. You're going to get sun bleach marks where it's folded. Be really careful about that. If the shelves where they're stored, the sun hits it. So be really careful about the sun.
And you don't want dampness because you can get mold.
Yep.
That was the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah. Hair, you know, of course, pet hair, dander, smoke. Smoke is so bad.
Whenever I crochet and knit, my hair sheds. I always find my hair in my work. Let's see. Ellie stores her yarn in bins, and Pamela had to go. Have a good day, Pamela. Doris finally convinced her hubby to get her totes since they were on sale.
Bugs, yeah, smoke free.
The totes. Lisa,
yeah, I don't know that you can ever get smoke out of those things.
Lisa says a couple of boxes that I just got. Some is on a shelf, and my balls from my mother are in a big covered trash can. And we have Amanda that joined us, and Kim. How are y'all, and what are y'all working on? Sally sorts hers by color, but it wasn't working for her. She's in the process of reorganizing. Oh, I hope you feel better, Sally. Sally got the big C. Yeah, the big C is for the birds. Let's see. Kim says, I definitely would never store that way, but getting it like that in the mail is a great idea to save money. Sindy stores her yarn where the fibers are separate from one another, such
Yeah.
as acrylic with acrylic and wool with wool. And
And
she stores yarn in the plastic that they come in. Okay,
you
what
know,
were
and this is something I've started doing. And there is, you know, this is one of those things that is, I don't want to say controversy, but it depends on who you talk to. Some people, and you and I were talking about this earlier. Some people say airtight, and other people say it needs to breathe. And and I've heard it both ways. So I started storing. I keep all of the stuff that I've got stored in the back bedroom, that sort of stuff. I've got stored in these organza bags. And I found a place where I can buy these great big organza bags, and they're beautiful. They're so pretty. My yarn stored in them is so pretty, and it keeps the dust out and it keeps the hair out. And maybe not 1,000%, but way better than it just sitting out on a shelf. And I can see what I have, and I just like them. I just like the way it looks in the organza bags. And you know, sometimes when I buy my stuff from a nicer company, they will come in these organza bags, and I just love them. And then you know, they cinch up real pretty, and you can get a lot in there. I've gotten 16 skeins of, you know, the regular, like just the regular, not the giant ones, but your regular size skeins. I've gotten 16 of them in these, no problem. Well, this year I decided, because you know, everybody that knows me knows I have a house full of dogs. And I've decided this year that my projects in process are going in those bags. So, you know, at the end of the day, when I'm done working on this, it's going in these bags. So, yes, it was Bod that talked to us about these a couple of years ago. And that's when I ordered like 50 of these, and it wasn't enough. I think I ordered 50 more. But everything that is stored in the back bedroom is in those bags. And so the yarn that I'm working on, the extra yarn, is in those bags, and my projects that I'm working on is in those bags. And it feels like they're fresher and they get less tangled up, and I just like them. It feels prettier. It makes it a little more special than all crammed down inside of a bag. So yeah, the organza bags. And you're right, that's where I got the idea, was from Bag a Day. And I think she's also one of the ones that said, do not make them airtight. They will get moldy, and your natural fibers need to breathe. And I've heard other people say that too. You know, I actually did a lot of research at that time. How do I store this? Because I knew I was going to be gone for several years, and I didn't want anything to happen to the yarn that I had. So that's what I did. And the organza bag, everything I read said it needed to breathe.
So yeah, y'all might want to look into those bags. Suzanne saying the little yarn she stores in plastic tubs.
Mm-hmm. And I do. I have the organza bags inside of the tubs. And my tubs, the ones that are outside in the shop, are sealed with duct tape to keep the critters out, but the ones in the house are just closed.
That's I like how Dana says cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to keep them away from your yarn. Let's see. Oh, we have Lisa, Nancy that joined us. How are y'all? And what are y'all working on? And Sindy saying, her yarns on shelves that have doors, and inside the plastic they come on her shelves in her walk-in closet, with the door shut, open like in stores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep the doggies out. Kim likes the organza bags. Sindy also says she has organza bags. And okay. So one thing that you can use, but like you know how you have the little cube shelvings units?
Yeah, that's what they have here, is the cube shelving.
That's one thing that y'all can use to store yarn in. Also, And this is one thing that I thought was kind of neat that was mentioned. Now, I'm not sure if I would use this method because I do have concerns about it. But like small yarn balls, you can actually store them in egg cartons. But I don't know, because sometimes like the eggs crack and stuff, so I'm kind of like, I don't know. But I did think it was, neat that was an idea. But I don't think I would use that. Or if you have just like a little bit of yarn, you can use clothespins. But I'd probably have them in some type of container to protect them, or a Ziploc bag maybe.
Yeah, those were good for bobbins when you're working on a project.
You can also purchase like a dresser, maybe find one at a yard sale, and you want the drawers steep enough, and you can store yarn in a dresser drawer. You can also get the plastic drawer bins, which I have some of those, but I don't find it fits very much. Usually, like when I see them at yard sales, I get them from yard sales, and I'll put like some type of craft stuff, but I find the one that I have some yarn in, I can't fit that much yarn in it. Clear plastic bins, and clear is always good where you can see what you have in your containers or bags, whichever choice you use. This one I think is neat. Let me see if I can find a picture of it real quick. I think it's on this one. Y'all have ever seen where people use a hutch to store their yarn? I think that's kind of neat. Let me see. I'm getting to the picture. There you go. All right, let me share my screen. But yeah, like a hutch like this.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
And I have seen like, those old hutches where people just fill it with yarn. So that's one idea that you can use. You can also repurpose an old desk to store your yarn too. But again, you gotta kind of like, it may not be the most protective.
It's not enough. I mean, like right here behind me, I'm trying to figure out how to go. You can see right here behind me, she's got this beautiful little thing, but it doesn't hold very much. I mean, it's pretty and it's cute, but I mean, I've got 300 balls of yarn. I've got 300 skeins of yarn. This is 20, and that takes up too much space for the little bit of yarn that it's going to hold. Yeah, Dana puts all of her stuff in zippered baggies. She can see it. She knows what she's got. Yeah,
that was actually one thing that's on my list. Like the under the bed storage bags.
I like those. You know what though? I was all excited because I have a bed now in a house. There's no under. There's like, it's about this wide, and then there's a wooden like support thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? I lost all that under bed storage. So there's no storage under my bed. It's not happy.
The one drawback to under the bed though, you'll forget that it's there.
Yes. There you go again. Not being able, if you can't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, because you kind of want stuff where it's more easily accessible, because if it's somewhere hidden, out of mind, out of thought.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Patty and Denise. How are y'all? And what are y'all working on? Okay, now Pamela put small balls in a Ziploc bag. Put up. It went up. And she leaves a corner unzipped so it's not airtight. Yeah, that's another one I was going to get into, the wine rack storage. It's another thing you can use.
Yeah. I really like that idea of the wine rack. Like if I'm working on a project that has 8 or 10 colors, I like the idea of a wine rack. Then they're not getting all tangled up. They're all right there handy. The labels aren't getting beat up. I like that idea. Plus, it's kind of cool looking. And, you know, like this project, you can see all the different colors I'm working on there. And I like that idea a lot. But it's not real portable. And I like portable. No, you don't get to store under your bed either, Dana.
And
She's got an engine under her bed.
What does she have under her bed?
An engine. She's a truck driver. She's driving a semi.
Yeah, Frank used to be a truck driver. But now, one thing like the wine racks, you also got to worry about like stuff getting to your yarn, unless you have one that's like more protective. Because like what Dana's saying, some of these options you do have to worry about, like dust, dirt, insects, rodents.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking of while I'm working on a project, I think that would be a cool way to have my colors out while I'm working on a project.
Now, if you're going to go some of these routes that it's not as protected, that may be stuff that you want to use, like yarn you want to use very quickly, like, you know, projects that you're working on or very fixing to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing, the shelving units, like the IKEA ones. Yeah, that's another way. Lisa says her underbed storage just for shoes. And that is Dana saying she don't store her yarn under the bed. And really, like with the underbed storage, you don't, you know, you can put them in other places. You know, it don't have to go under the bed. Hello, Colleen. How are you? And what are you working on? And like I said, you know, some of these methods are better methods than others. I mean, you kind of got to use your judgment how you want to store your yarn to protect it. But yeah, another thing is a rolling cord. And that's really good, like, you know, for like stuff you're working on.
Yeah, while you're working on it.
Very convenient. And then we mentioned the wine rack. Now, another thing that I thought was kind of neat, and I never thought about this, but again, you got to be careful that you protect your yarn, is mount boxes on the wall. I never thought that you could just use a regular box and mount it to the wall.
They did that here, and I wonder if, and I saw her do that, and I just thought, the gal that runs this place has the best ideas for stuff, and I'm just amazed. And they literally just bought empty crates, and she paints them up all different colors, and she uses it to, you know, store things in, and they just look so cute. And I never would have thought of it. And then she'll connect them together and hang them on the wall, and you've got an instant shelving for half or third of the price of what shelving would be. And it's just amazing what you can do with that stuff with a $10 crate or a $5 crate. The one thing you again, you want to be careful that your edges aren't too rough, but I love that you can paint it to match whatever room you're in or leave it raw. It really is a good idea.
And another thing too, some of those type of things you can get from yard sales.
Oh yeah. I have a bunch of old milk crates that I picked up at yard sales. And the guy was, I mean, they were $1 a piece, and they're super sturdy. And I use them. I fill them up with, again, the yarn, and can carry them from room to room or stack them up.
See, like I took the little plastic baskets that you get, like, you know, like Dollar Tree type ones. And I painted them, decorated them with like some flowers and stuff. And tack that to my walls in the kitchen. That way you could use it for storage. Like sometimes I'll put like my drink mixes in one, or lids like for cups. You know, use it for all sorts of different storage. And like I say, you just get a cheapy basket. And you
can take, if you put, you know, you can buy one of those the planter, what are they called? They've got wheels on them, and it's to put a big planter on it. And then you can stack 6 or 8 of them on there and roll it all over the place.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Denise, I hope you feel better soon.
Oh, Doris has little fingers getting into projects. You gotta keep your stuff up high. Yeah. I don't have that anymore. I just got puppy dog noses.
I got my 2 cats. And another thing too, like you have the woven baskets. That's another idea. But again, you kind of got to be careful about protecting the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find that's more better option for short-term storage.
Short-term storage, yeah. Yeah, everything that you're talking about, you have to make a determination. Are we talking about long-term, or is this while you're working on a project? Because they're 2 complete different questions.
And then there's also, you can use a shoe bag.
I have seen that. I don't remember her name. There was one gal, and in her craft room, she had a shoe bag, and she liked the basic yarn, and she had all the colors of basic yarn out in the shoe bag. It was almost decoration more than anything.
But in the same aspect, the shoe bag does have openings.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful about protection too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the hanging closet cubby thingy.
Mm-hmm.
That's another option.
Yeah, the squares.
And like Dana said, the underbed storage bags.
Mm-hmm.
Or a pegboard is another one. But again, you got to be careful about protecting your yarn. A pegboard.
Let's see. I was trying to think. I saw a pegboard where she must have put her, she had wound up cakes. She put all her cakes up on the pegboard, and it looked cool, but it's the same thing. It's not protecting it from the dirt and the dust and the sunlight and all of that, but it looked beautiful. She had almost a painting look from the color that she had done. It was gorgeous, and it was just from the way she hung up her thing, her colors of the cake.
And there's also the expanding wooden racks.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that you do like that and it opens up.
Oh yeah, for like the coffee cup holders,
mm-hmm.
Coffee mug holders. Oh yeah.
But again, you run into that same issue.
Same thing.
Like I said, like the ones that don't protect the yarn as much.
Mm-hmm.
That's you can get away with it for short-term storage, right. But anything that's going to be sitting for a while, you really want to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Another
thing and those kind of things, now that I'm just sitting here kind of as we talk through it, it was kind of nice if I have a tendency to think of a project and I'm going to pull out my tote bag and I'm going to pull my yarn and throw my pattern with it, and then I can hang it on one of those. So I've got the next couple of projects ready to go. And I like that. Or my yarn will come in and this is for this project and this is just for whatever. And then I've got it ready to go. So some of the, the pegboard and that kind of stuff is a great idea for that kind of stuff. And so I really like the ideas for those things, but not the long-term storage. Because I like to have those projects ready to go. So when I'm ready to I always have 3, 4, 5, 12 projects at a time that I'm working on, because I like to have more intricate stuff and then something easy. And then sitting here, I have to have things that I can set down, walk away, come back and pick up easy. Nothing that I've got to be counting and really paying attention. So I always have to have harder and easier projects going at the same time. So I like I really like what you were saying, the coffee cup rack. I like that idea as a hang up, easy to go, something with maybe some washcloth, or I saw a really pretty dish towel pattern this morning with some hearts on it. I like that idea.
I see Chris joined us. Hi, Chris. How are you and what are you working on? Another thing too is an old crib. Ray, I can't get it out. You know, an old crib, the
I
rail for
don't.
it.
I saw that, and I don't get it. I don't understand what they're suggesting.
Let me find a picture of it. Oh, I think it's this one. Let me pull it up. Give me just a second. Yeah, this is a picture of one.
So they've just got it crammed in there in between the railings.
But again,
Yeah.
that's not the best for protecting your yarn.
No, I'm not liking that at all. What do you guys
But
think? Is that something that you'd have to have no kids, no dogs, no cats?
exactly. But I mean,
And it'd have to be full, big, fat skeins. Not sure on that one. I give that one a C minus.
like I said, some of these methods are better than others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you guys think? Is that something that would be, I mean, and that thing's taken up a lot of space. I think for the amount of space that takes up, I could put in a nice shelf unit.
Exactly. Another thing too is you can crochet your own baskets to store yarn
Yeah.
in.
I
Um,
bought this thing, never again. It was called a tangled yarn box. It was, talk about tangled. It took me days and days and days, and it was a mess. And it was the ugliest, most awful yarn I had ever seen in my life. And I saw this thing, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And finally, I thought, I'm going to make one of those baskets where you just grab whatever color and you mix 2 or 3 yarns together and you just go till you run out. It's going to be perfect for that. And it's going to be the sturdiest. And I'm going to make a great big basket. And it would be perfect for that. I don't know where I've put the yarn. I'll find it, though. As I get through this stuff, I will find it. But it would be perfect for that.
oh, hi, Jan. How are you? And what are you working on?
Yeah, you're right, Jeanne. You're absolutely right. But I just think that's a waste of space, and I think I would rather stack it up in a corner than separate it with that thing. I don't know.
But these are just ideas. I mean, sometimes it may be something someone has around.
Yeah.
And, not everyone can always go out and spend a bunch of
Oh
money
no, not at all.
for
Not at
storage
all.
options or
Lord knows I've been there.
and what type of space you have to deal with.
And for me right now, space is my biggest monster. So I look at something and my first thought is always, where am I going to put that? I got no space for that. And I told Mister the other day, I need a cup rack because I don't have space for cups in my cupboard. I have very few cupboards. I had to I took a bookshelf and turned it into shelving in my kitchen. Well, now I'm like, wait a minute, I can take these coffee cups and hang them on the wall. And I said, nope, not sideways, up and down. I can go up and down. I don't have room for, so it's like every square, everything, every thought in my mind is space, space, space. So as soon as I see something, my first thought is always space. And yeah, so for other people, that's not as big of an issue.
And
so you're absolutely right.
Sometimes you have to make, like use wall space. You just don't have the
wall space I've got, but floor space I don't have.
Another thing too, it's wire baskets.
Wire baskets, yeah. Oh, there's that furnace again. So now the furnace is on. I'm not going to be able to hear you again. I have figured out that's the big issue. I can't hear you when the furnace comes on. I think we're doing pretty good since I'm half deaf and half blind today. Usually I'm only half blind. Right, Sindy?
Cindy's saying that Ginger on Affordable Crafty has these shelves.
Wooden crates. Yeah, I bet you it's the same general idea as what they've done here.
And like another thing too, let me pull this. I'm pulling this up to show it better. Let's see, where is it?
Oh, look at that. Ooh.
Um, so that's something you can do with balls
That's
of yarn
pretty.
right here. But I find that's a more of a decor thing.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
nice when
this
you just got little bits of balls left over. That's a nice place to throw those in, the glass
you can use
jars.
you can use magazine holders and line shelves with.
No, I can't quite tell. Is that, oh, that's those magazine things that are sideways?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can also use them too to help like store stuff in your kitchen.
Yeah,
Like
I use those for everything. You know what those are great for? Put those in your cabinet and put all those dang plastic water bottles. That's where I stick all of those sideways. You can
yeah,
get 4 or 5 of those in there in a spot.
they're also for different kitchen storage
Mm-hmm.
uses.
Yeah,
And
I like that, Cindy. I
this
like that with the empty coffee cans.
which I don't know, it's not a lot of space per se,
No,
and you'd need to make sure you cleaned and
are
dried
those
the
edges
cans
going to be sharp
properly.
too? I can't
But
tell.
it looks like they have like hanks of yarn in them,
That's what I can't tell.
which in a sense it could be good for hanks of yarn.
I think that would be hard to get it in and out.
Yeah, that was one concern I had.
Mm. Yeah, because look on top, they've got a ball, or not a ball, a cake. So that's not much yarn. Huh.
And I would be concerned how clean they
Yeah, that's a
were,
big no for me.
like how clean they are, and sometimes too you got to make sure like it dried enough.
Yeah. Form over
If-
function.
or the last thing I have on my list is you can also use an old bookshelf. But I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there's so much that you can find to store yarn.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Right? That's what I was thinking too, Cindy. I'm going to scrape my hand on that edging.
Hi, Nisi. How are you today? And what are you working on? But yeah, but like I said, those are ideas. If y'all have some other ideas that can be used for storage, please share in the comments. Can you think of anything else, Robbin?
I don't have anything cute. I am very utilitarian. Just give me a shelf. I prefer something where it can close, but I'm literally any place I can cram a ball of yarn into. The coolest thing for me is the organza bags. I just find that they really do keep the yarn clean. And for me, with the dust and the pet hair, that's a big deal for me. And old toy boxes and hope chests. We've got, when I bought this house, they left I don't think it's a hope chest. It's a wooden, they were using it for a coffee table, but it's got a lid that opens because I don't think it's cedar lined. So it's just a chest. And I keep a lot of my stuff in there. A lot of project bags and projects in there. And that's nice because, it's just right there in the living room and I can lift the lid up and see what I've got in there. But honestly, any open space where I can cram some yarn into it is how it gets stored at my house. I try to be careful. Like I said, the stuff that's outside is sealed up very well. And I have lists on the outside of what's in it, so I'm not opening and closing it. The stuff that's in the house, in the back bedroom that I don't get to very often is all in these bags. And the stuff that's in my room that I'm digging through all the time is literally just on open shelves on open shelves in the room. So it's a mixture.
Mm-hmm.
I am, like I said, I'm careful about not having cardboard on carpet. I'm very careful about sunlight because I don't want sunlight hitting anything. And like I do have some yarn here because it's some stuff that I'm selling. Let me grab
Hi, Corman. How are you today? And what are you working on? Um, I mean, you could probably use plastic coffee cans, but I don't think that would be the most functional thing to use. Kind of like the cans. Um,
And
Hi, Melanie.
so I've got some yarn here that I'm selling, and I've got it separated out because it's just separated out by color. You know, I've got 2 hanks of this, and I've got 1 hank of that. And so these are in plastic bags because I took it to the fair and it was dirty and dusty, and you know, there's sheep and goats and such. And I didn't want every little kid coming through with popcorn and carameled apples touching my beautiful yarn. And then we just put it in a pretty basket. And then here, I move it around so the sun doesn't get to it. And so that's just stuff that I've got here at the shop for sale. And so I'm aware of those kinds of things here. But, and there's no sunlight getting to it at my house. No, there's no sunlight getting to it at my, yeah, right? We all wish we had sun. We all wish we had yarn rooms. But I'll tell you what, it sure made a difference in my world when I put up just that one shelf unit. And I've got really tall ceilings and no storage. And so I just went and bought some of that, you know, that laminate shelving, and we just cut it. We went floor to ceiling as high as high as long as the shelf was. That's how high I made it. And I had a box, and I said, this is how high I want the shelves. And we did it that way. And that's how big it was. So that's how much yarn and it was too deep for one. So it's kind of double. So, and then I put, you know, those stretchy, they look like a spider web, but it's that stretchy stuff that they're cargo nets that you put on the back of like a pickup truck. I've got one of those over the front of it. So as it doesn't fall out the front, because that's what it was trying to do. Because it's not quite too deep, but it was too much for one deep. It was too much wasted space. So I've got it crammed in there with, yeah, that's how I roll. So I've got cargo net over the front of it to keep it from all falling out. And it works.
A lot of people are commenting on Glinda's shelving unit.
Oh, so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the laundry bags, you betcha. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so many things that you can do.
Yeah.
But do keep in mind about protecting your yarn too.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the things we mentioned doesn't really protect your yarn.
Right.
So that's more better for like short-term storage.
Yeah.
But yeah, for long-term, you really want to protect it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know, when you go to a yarn shop and you see all the beautiful yarn out there on display, that stuff's turning over. It's not sitting there for months and months and months and months. So you need to be aware of that, because you see it pretty sitting out there, and you know, they've got it, they're merchandising it and they're showing it in its best light, and it's sitting out there all pretty so that you buy it and take it home and love it. But if it sits there for more than a few weeks, they're not making any money. And you'll notice that the sunlight is not hitting it, because if you look in the back in their storeroom, it's not sitting out there like that. It is enclosed and it's in bags, and the sun, the dust isn't getting to it and all of that stuff. Yeah. Same. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, nice to know, Cindy Lou. I did not know that you sold your yarn. Good to know. Good to know.
So, okay, I hope you have a good day, Doris. Yeah, we're going to start wrapping things up. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention, Robbin?
I hope I see everybody at Monday Night Bingo. Monday night, 4:30 Pacific. We changed the time, made it a little earlier. Seems to be working out well. So 4:30 Monday Bingo. And who's our guest Tuesday? Tuesday morning is, oh, I just went blank. We just mentioned her too. No idea. We'll talk about it at Monday Bingo.
Was it Jane?
Yes, Scraptastic, thank you. Scraptastic Yarns with Jane. I'm so bad. Everybody knows it's my brain, it's not my heart. But thank you, Sindy. So yeah, we have a lot of fun, and I think I've seen you. I don't know. I'm so scatterbrained these days. It's
I am too.
the older I get, the worse it gets. And I'm just trying to keep up. That's the best I can do, is trying to keep up. And then, yeah, Miss Dana was our winner on Monday. She's so funny. Every week she's like, I'm going to win it all. No point in anybody showing up. I'm going to win it all. And then she won on Monday. And we're like, really? Really? Somebody double check that. Are you sure? So she won at bingo. It was a lot of fun. We have so much fun. Sometimes we forget we're playing bingo. We're having so much fun talking. But I really appreciate you inviting me on today. I've had a wonderful, wonderful morning. It was so much fun letting people know about my crochet along coming up. I'm so excited and I'm so nervous all at the same time.
Thank you for coming live with me. I enjoyed having you. Now,
Good.
Later today, I'm going to be posting my Knitting Friday video. I'm late.
Oh, yeah, my Finish It Friday hits Saturday most weeks now.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a day or two behind on getting my videos out. But that will come later today. Monday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, I will be going live. I'm going to start getting into yarn fibers.
Oh, nice.
Lives. I don't know yet which fiber I'm going to go with for Monday. I'll decide that tomorrow when I start planning for the live. But yeah, I'm going to be going through the different yarn fibers. So that's the plan.
That'll be interesting. There's some really cool stuff out there that you know, you don't get to play. When I went to Alaska last summer, there's a yarn shop up there, and they carry yak yarn and yarn made out of Alaskan huskies. Beautiful stuff. You don't even get to touch it unless you are really seriously interested in buying it. It is some beautiful, and it's like $150 for 2 ounces. It's some gorgeous stuff, let me tell you.
Nice. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and play my little closing video, and we're going to come back and say our goodbyes. Now, one thing, I do need to add Ursula with OM Granny Square to my little ending video, closing video, because she became a Stitchin alien earlier today. I just haven't gotten to adding her yet. So thank you, Ursula. All right, here's the video. The music has you wanting to dance, huh? But yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching today. I enjoyed chatting with y'all, and thanks so much for watching me. And those that will be watching the replay, I want to welcome y'all. Feel free to answer questions that we asked on today's live. Leave a comment, let me know that y'all watched. And I hope y'all all have a fabulous Yarny day. Be the light, and bye.